What's up, guys? This is Coach Donny with ElevateYourself.org. Welcome to a volleyball coach's reaction to Haikyuu Season 1, Episode 9. If you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe and click that notification bell so you never miss a Haikyuu reaction video. If you want to learn effective volleyball technique for all fundamental skills and how to jump higher, then check out my volleyball tutorial and jump training playlist in the description box below with over 100 free tutorial videos. As you can see, I have a brand new mic stand to help improve the audio quality when I talk. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters for allowing me to make purchases like this to improve my content. Now I look like an official YouTuber. It's good to know that Nishinoya's personality is very direct. Now I can take everything he says seriously. Thanks for letting me know about the extra footage at the end of the credits. I usually stop it right when the credits start because many shows will show the preview for the next episode, which I don't want to see, so it's good to know that there aren't any spoilers at the end. I did not know that sneezing in Japanese culture is a superstition that someone is thinking of you. It's funny how all cultures have their own unique superstitions. What's really ironic is that I actually have to sneeze now. Oh, that's so ironic.
Impressive.
I wonder who's thinking of me right now. Maybe Tanaka. I'm glad that someone told me that because I would have gotten very annoyed at all these random sneezing scenes. I can now appreciate why Nishinoya uses the word connect as a way to keep his teammates connected, as a way of describing his role on the team as a libero, which makes sense because he's starting a connection with a pass, which connects to a set, which connects to a spike. Most importantly, that connection cannot start without a pass, which is why passing is the most important skill in volleyball. It's awesome how some of you are connecting your own competitive experiences from other non-volleyball disciplines like marching band. The principles of dedication, teamwork, discipline, being better every day, and selflessness are the same regardless of what you do. That's another reason why Haikyuu connects to so many people, because it's much more than just volleyball. If you're enjoying my Haikyuu reaction videos and other volleyball content on my channel, then please consider supporting Elevate Yourself through my Patreon linked below, where you will also receive access to exclusive content like my private blog, live Q&A sessions, members-only podcasts, behind-the-scenes footage, and much more. Now let's get this party started. He's probably talking to Kageyama to set him again. There we go. Connecting with the ball feels so good, and looks like Asahi came in just in time and is getting flashbacks of that amazing feeling when you time it perfectly and get that perfect contact. Nikko, I'm assuming that's another school. Nikohama. Bet you that's the school that shut him down. Maybe that's why he feels a little nervous. Oh, Daichi gets scary when he's mad, huh? I love that imagery. Cat versus crow in the garbage dump. Classic. Yeah. Asian culture is a lot about saving face, for better and for worse. You're still such a wimp. I thought that was just Nishinoya picking on him. That reminds me of one of my teammates when I was playing at San Jose State. This guy actually played for the Division I basketball team, and he was 6'8". He was probably 240 pounds. I mean, this guy was muscular, he was tall, he had good hops. But believe it or not, he would tip the ball most of the time. Now, I'm not saying that tipping the ball is a bad way to score a point, because a point is a point at the end of the day. But there's a reason why all the best hitters in the world only tip occasionally, and majority of their attacks are hard spikes. And in warm-ups, he would be crushing it, bouncing it over the bleachers. But when it came game time, it was frustrating to watch him, because I don't know if he was afraid of the block or if he was afraid of making a mistake. But that kind of reminds me of what they said of Asahi, where he's a big body but maybe a wimp inside. Yeah, he's going to have to earn his way back. I'm trusting Daichi's leadership and treating him differently. Yeah, if someone else wants to become the ace, then that's going to take a little pressure off of Asahi for being the only guy to put the ball away and save the team. The blonde coach, Ukai. I love this guy's energy. He's like so hype all the time. Persistence, persistence, persistence. I wonder why he thinks coaching is stuffy. Maybe that's where he played and his grandfather coached him and pushed him too hard. Yeah, he wants to leave that gym in its own memory. I get that. Doesn't want to mess up that memory. Man, what is it about Neko that gets everybody to think twice and anxious? Ooh, all these coaches coming out of retirement. Former players often make great coaches because they are personally invested in that program because they played there. Oh, I can't wait to see old footage of this Ukai play. This guy's so intense. But man, Takeda can just take it. He doesn't care, he just wants to find a coach. He's going to put his body on the line and get shaken in front of a bakery. Ah. So Takeda pushed the right buttons to get this guy motivated. That's a good leader, is being able to motivate the right people. Pressing the right buttons. Maturing the greatness. That's cool how the back of the shirt says. Alright, that's a block follow, also what we call covering the hitters. It's cool that they call it block follow because you are following the ball after it gets blocked. And I like that Nishinoya really wants to get better at that particular skill. Most liberos want to get better at the flashy stuff, like learning how to pass a really fast jump serve or do a pancake or one-arm dive. But being able to cover your hitters as a libero, and also any position should be doing this, but particularly a libero, is very important. The best way to cover your hitters or block follow is to move toward the block and stand about 4 to 5 feet away from the block so you're not interrupting the path of the hitter. Get extra low so that your hips are just above your knee level so you maximize your time, because if your defensive posture is too high, right, you have less time to react. And the goal is to be still before the hitter contacts the ball. If you're still moving as the hitter's contacting the ball, you can't change direction and it makes you slower to react. So make sure you get close to the block and try to be still before the hitter contacts the ball, so you're just waiting for the reaction versus trying to move and react to the ball at the same time. Willing to put his body on the line. Everyone thinks Nishinoya is so cool, even Tanaka. Ooh. Ukai-kun. Got the phone call. Also sneezed at the bakery, hopefully not on the food. Maybe he wants his revenge on Neko. Oh, legendary. Yeah, probably because he doesn't want to be associated with that name. He wants to be his own person. I wonder if that's the adult team. And maybe Coach Ukai plays there. That's such a true statement. If you like volleyball enough, that's reason enough to come out. Here's a really interesting backstory. So for those of you who have been following me for the last 4 or 5 years, I created the team called the Tall Ones. And it's an ironic name because we're usually the shortest team, at least at the level that we play at. And we've had some decent success with both our summer season and also at the USA Nationals, which is the largest adult tournament in the USA that happens once a year. If you want to watch the games from the Tall Ones, I'll leave the playlist with all of our games in the description box for you guys to watch. Our main setter, Dan Yang, is only around 5'9", but he's one of my favorite setters to play with. And also Josh's favorite setter to play with too. He's just such a smart player. He's technically sound. His main goal is what's best for the team. And he is good at all the skills. He can serve, play defense. He can actually hit. Now, his blocking's okay, but at least when he blocks, he knows that as a short blocker, his job is just to set a good post so that people can dig around him. And he's not trying to get the stuff block every single time. There was a period where he didn't play with us for 2 to 3 years because he eventually lost interest in volleyball. And honestly, I think he got burnt out. So he took a break, which is really understandable. And even after a year of not playing with him, we all missed playing with him and we knew how much better we would be with him. So it took me about a whole year to convince him to play with us again. And I did something very similar to what Takeda Sensei did to try to bring Asahi back. I was very persistent, but not in a mean way, talking about how much our team really needed him and how much fun we had with him. And also I would work out with him and just show him that I just enjoy hanging out with him. Then I would invite him to some of the games and watch us play, and then we'd go out to eat afterward. And this is stuff we would all normally do, so I wasn't just doing this just because I was trying to get him back on our team, because we're actually our friends off the court. And I remember at some of the dinners after our games, I could tell he was like, ooh, I could probably do a better job. It's hard for me to watch. And then he'll give us his analysis and we'd agree with him. And every time we met with him, it seemed like we were kind of 1 inch closer to getting him back. And then in 2018, I finally convinced him to join our team and commit a full year to play in our summer season at USA Nationals, which are the 2 biggest events of the year for us. And that was our best 2 seasons that we had. Our chemistry was on point. We were still the shortest team in the league, and we had so much fun, and we're also super competitive at the same time. So this story reminds me so much of my journey of trying to get Dan Yang back to our team. Yeah, especially last minute. Who's this guy? Looks like a mini Takeda sensei. Ah, this is an association team, it must be. Or maybe former Karasuno alumni. I can see why you guys like Suki. He's just always got some offhand comment and appears out of nowhere. Darn, was hoping to see Nishinoya connect with his teammates and start building that chemistry. Oh, the monkey on the cage. Ah, I saw he's hanging out, acting like he doesn't want to play. But he really wants to play. I love Ukai already. So direct, gets the job done. Even if he's got to yell at people. The return. Oh, come on, Ukai. He's got to be playing this game. Oh, he volunteered because he knows Kageyama is the future. Man, that guy is the ultimate teammate, putting the team before himself. If everyone had that mentality on a team, your team would be amazing if everyone thought of the team first. You know what's funny? Yang would also tell me that he wouldn't feel confident all the time about his setting, and I think that's why he enjoyed playing with Josh and me so much, because we built his confidence. We're always cheering him on and excited to hit his sets, and we're very happy with him playing with us. Yeah, sometimes setters can feel like it's their fault for the hitters getting blocked, which it is sometimes, but all errors are mostly team responsibility. Now he's positioning himself to compete. That's good. Yeah, that's just adults. Adults just, they might be older and slower, but they're just a little more confident and more secure. That's what happens to my camera all the time. Someone always hits my camera. The underhand serve. Oh, classic. Oh. Easy. Nice toss it. Yeah, sometimes there's no replacement for experience. I'll add on to what I said earlier about playing against adults and what you can learn from them. I was very fortunate to be surrounded by great volleyball players, not in terms of incredible talent, but there were a few adult volleyball players in my life that I learned a lot from, which made a huge impact on me as a young volleyball player. One of my volleyball mentors, both as a coach and a player, is Dan Kwan. He's 4 years older than me, and when I graduated from high school, he always invited me to play open gyms with him, And he kind of took me under his wing and really helped me advance my skill, both mentally and physically. And I think just being around him and observing his body language and how he handled mistakes and what he focused on really helped me absorb some of those better habits. Whereas a lot of my other friends who played only with younger players, their emotions were always up and down, and they're always about the flashy plays and not about consistent volleyball. They would teach me how to play smart and always tell me things like, you gotta swing high, young guy. Whereas if you're always playing with young people, you're always trying to bounce the ball straight down, which is usually going to get blocked at least half the time. So I think this is a great experience for high schoolers to compete against older people, even if they're not as skilled. But if they lose against older people, that's even better, because it's a very humbling experience and you can learn so much by watching them and emulating their behaviors. Yeah, you don't want the entire offense to be surrounded by one person. Nishinoya seems to have the respect of everyone. Whatever he says, people really listen. Poor guy. He feels pathetic because he's acting a little pathetic. He's moping. Sometimes when you're there, you just gotta be there and just move on. But there is all that internal conflict. What was that? Oh, Ukai finally gets to see it, and Takeda's like, yes, you get to see what I've been telling you about. And now Asahi gets to see it firsthand. The nightmare. Ooh, almost covered it. One thing that's really great about the small details of teamwork from this anime is on Karasuno, every time someone does something great, people are always saying, nice pass, nice hit, nice set. And that's such an important habit to adopt to be successful on a volleyball team. Even if you don't score the point, if someone exerted exceptional effort, focus, or execution, even mid-rally you can say, nice pass, or yeah, go get it, or great swing, even if they hit out, but you knew that they were trying their best to execute to their best ability. The Iron Wall of Date. Yeah, a great liberos believe they can dig every single ball no matter how impossible it is. Oh, now Asahi's in his head. Just gotta be present. Don't worry about what just happened and don't worry about what will happen. Just be in the now and do what you can right now. I've been there before, being afraid to call for the set after being blocked. Oh. Let me explain the volleyball strategy there. I'm sure Date Tech read the body language of Asahi. When someone gets blocked 2 or 3 times in a row, there's a 90% chance that that setter is not going to set that hitter again. For good reason, right? If you're not scoring points and if you're not making changes, it's good to change it up. But on the other hand, if you don't set that person again, and you set the person behind you, the team knows you're going to do that because the other hitter just got blocked twice in a row. So as a setter, you have to really weigh the rewards and the risk. Let's say Asahi just got blocked 2 times in a row, and the setter has to make a decision and think, well, Asahi just got blocked, so now I have to give Daichi a chance, but then the team is going to know I'm going to do that. So another option is if you don't want to set Asahi, maybe you can dump, or maybe you can set the back row, and even if you don't score a point, it mentally gives everyone on your team a break, especially the person that just got blocked. And if you want to be a great setter, you got to make sure you don't become predictable. The wall. Is this where we get to see the broken broomstick? Oh, this is intense. Two highly competitive people trying to figure out whose fault it is. I would be upset too. Oh, this is so true. I wouldn't express it this way, but I can understand his intensity. As a libero, it can be very frustrating when you're giving your team so many opportunities to score and your team's not scoring. However, with Nishinoya, I don't think he's upset merely at the fact that Asahi is getting blocked or they're not scoring points. I think he is upset at the effort and the intent of his teammates, that he's not giving up, so therefore his teammates should not give up. So he has every right to be upset, because I know for me for sure, I get more upset about people not believing in themselves and not trying more so than losing a point. I'd rather take an aggressive hitter who swings out half the time but believes he can score the point and wants to score the point every single time than someone who picks and chooses when they're going to be aggressive, even if they're going to hit in majority of the time. So Nishinoya has a good point. That's a good teammate. That's a great teammate. Every team needs to have a Nishinoya. The intensity, the competitiveness, but the willingness to push your teammates. And that's okay. It's okay to push your teammates to the point where you make them decide, do I want to be a part of this experience or not? Is that the guy with the toupee? I like that principal. His hair is so floppy. It's hard to take this scene seriously because of the principal and his loose hair. Now, there is a point where you can push your teammates too hard, and I think that's where Nishinoya was evolving towards in that scene. Yeah, he's had time to reflect and choose to be a different person. That's all he wants to hear. I want the ball. I love his intensity. He's got one job, keep the ball up and in play. Long hair guy. Yeah, the sky is the domain of the hitters. Tsuki's comments. Why isn't Asahi getting ready? He's like standing there and talking. There we go. He hit so hard he knocked the blocker back. But someone's gonna cover it. Yep, the pancake. Perfect pancake. Nice follow. See, there you go. There's a teammate again. Encouraging people mid-rally. Everyone's so impressed. I love this libero. Come on, Asahi. Don't disappoint him. Reward that effort. Be ready and be aggressive. This is where if he's going to go away from Asahi or give him another chance. That's true. That's the risk, right? I guess. Suki. This is Asahi's chance to push through that mental block, so he's got to give it to him. Don't baby him. Don't bail your teammates out. Make them better. And that ball has been in the air for like 10 years. I know there's a lot of dialogue going on, and I'm teasing the animation by saying that, you know, the ball only sits in the air for 2 or 3 seconds and this whole dialogue is going on with a couple minutes. But this is actually what happens in those moments. If you ever played competitive sports, you have these moments where in a split second you actually are having this entire conversation at lightning speed in your head. Like you'll have a whole world going on as you're kind of floating in the air. I don't think this is an exaggeration of what athletes really go through, because I've gone through this myself. But I think it's a great insight for those who don't play sports to really see all the dialogue and the internal conflict that happens within 2 or 3 seconds of a volleyball play or any other sport, when time slows down and you can make these decisions. And that's why hesitating is one of the most dangerous things you could do in sports. You already have so much time and dialogue going on in your head that if you wait any longer, you're not going to make the best decision. Yeah, everyone's got a job. Nishino's job is to get the ball up. Kageyama's job is to set. Asahi's just to hit. So if you don't do your job, there's no point of you being on the court. Sorry, I burped. And now the mic is closer, so you could probably hear that. Yeah, Super Saiyan! He's demanding the ball. I love it. Let's go, man bun. He's making those small adjustments to give Asahi a little more space to hit around the block. I love that. I know this is an intense moment, but I want to dive a little deeper into Suga's decision making. This is a great adjustment you can make as a setter. If your hitter is getting blocked, it is partly their responsibility, but also partly your responsibility as a setter. You have to think, did I get them too tight? Did I get them too low? Was it not in their hitting window? And it's important to have those conversations immediately after the play. Let's say the hitter hit out into the net or got blocked. You got to ask them right away, hey, how was that set? Do you want any adjustments? And the hitter might say, no, that was perfect. I got to make sure I hit around the block. Then you know you got to keep it the same. If they do say, yeah, that set died inside a little bit, or can you get a little bit higher? Then you know what adjustment to make. Now in the mid-rally, you don't have time to get those conversations. So it's really cool how Suga was able to make that adjustment. He saw that he got blocked, and based on the trajectory of the ball, if the hitter gets blocked more downward, then the set was too close to the block or too close to the net. So I'm assuming that's why Suga wanted to give him more space so that he can hit around a 3-man block, which is a very big block, especially with Kageyama, Tsuki, and Tanaka. Tanaka can't wait. He just wants to clamp him. Yep. Everyone is just positioning you for your success. That's a lot of sweat. Oh, man, look at that ball compression. That was awesome. Dude, we gotta look at that animation again. Ball compression is actually one of the first animations you learn as an animator. It's the ball bounce. So you animate the ball falling, and when you first try to animate a ball, you don't realize that the ball compresses and flattens out. So it looks kind of funny when you first do it. It looks like Pong. Then when the instructor tells you that when the ball hits the floor, it momentarily flattens and then it regains its shape before it bounces up. And that's when things feel really real. And it's not an animating trick. You're just drawing what actually happens. But oftentimes things happen so fast that we aren't conscious of all these little details in the real world. But when you animate it, you really slow down the world and study what happens in slow motion. And it's really fascinating to observe what happens in all those in-between moments. Ball compression. Oh, so good. And then all that wind around it, man. Those wind animations are so hard, like swirling and changing shapes. And Japanese animations do it the best. That is the ace. Alright, let's see if there's some more stuff at the end. Alright, I'm a little confused now. I thought that there was going to be some more of the current episode at the end, but then right here it says next episode preview. So maybe someone could explain this, but it looks like it's just going to give some spoilers for the next episode, which I don't want to happen. I think I've spoiled myself enough. So I'm going to stop it right here. Here are my immediate reactions to episode 9. This was actually an emotionally intense episode. You got to see the history between Nishinoya and Asahi and more details about why they didn't come back the next year. I also got to learn why the broomstick was broken, and I can completely relate to how intense some of those moments feel after a loss, especially when you feel like your teammates didn't try hard enough. Personally, as a coach and a player, I can handle losing to a good team. I always tell my players, if you're going to lose, make sure it's because the other team beat you, not because you beat yourself. And the most common way to beat yourself is to simply give up or not try your best on every single point. I knew that Asahi was going to come back because I already saw him in season 4, but seeing the journey and his thought process of how he came about the decision, and also the persistence of all his teammates, and eventually the new coach, Ukai, finally yelled at him and just say, "Get in here, we need an extra body." And sometimes that's all it takes for someone to get back into the gym again. I think we can all relate to Asahi's inner turmoil, because when he had such a bad experience during the last time he played volleyball, if he plays volleyball again, he's risking experiencing that same terrible feeling. And that's why it's human nature to avoid things that bother us. But in order for us to grow and improve as people and as volleyball players, we have to confront the things that hurt us. We can't spend our entire life running away from uncomfortable situations, because they will inevitably find you anyway, and if you haven't confronted them, it's going to hurt even more that second time around when you're not prepared and you haven't grown from that. So I love how Asahi met his challenge head on, and he demanded the ball in such a Dragon Ball Z way. Suga! And sometimes the best way to deal with fear and anxiety is to do the exact opposite of what you want to do. Asahi probably didn't want to spike, but instead, he screamed for the ball and hit even harder. Opposite action is one of the best ways to deal with your own personal fears. The more I get to know Nishinoya, the more I like his character. I can see why he has everyone's respect. Not only is he one of the better players, he's one of the hardest workers, and he's one of the best teammates. He is fully committed to his job, and he is fully committed to making his team better. And most importantly, he never gives up, and he doesn't seem like the person that would get down on himself. I hate to admit it, but I can see why you guys like Tsuki. It's not because he's a cool character, it's because he just has a funny personality to him. It's like that bitter vegetable that you don't like when you're a kid, but as you get older, you kind of grow and acquire taste for that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. Don't forget to sign up for our Elevate Yourself Patreon linked below to be entered for our free giveaway of the Elevate Lightweight hoodie and lanyard. Let's see if we can get to 150 members.